Hello, welcome to episode 4 of my Python episode series, and today we're going to be talking about math operators. In math, you of course have the basics like plus, minus, times, divide. There's also this one which shows remainders. There's exponent, and then there's floor division. All of these operators can be used in Python in order to complete simple math or maybe do some basic coding. On top of that, there are 4 number types in Python. There's integers, which are whole numbers with no decimals or any decimal point really. There are long numbers, which are infinite integers, meaning that they go on forever, and they're written like a normal integer, but with an L at the end of it. There are floats, which are integers, but with decimals at the end of it, something like 4.5. And then there's complex, which uses the letter J at the end of the number, something like 122J. These aren't used that much in Python really, because J is the square root of -1, and therefore it's a really complex number. That's why it's called complex, and that's why you never see it anywhere. So to the operators, I'll just keep going through all these different operators to show you how they work. For addition, you would type 2 plus 3, and that would give out the number 5 because it added those two numbers together. Then there's subtraction, which is 3 minus 1, which of course gives the integer of 2. There is 6 times 2, which of course gives 12 because 6 times 2 is 12. There is 6 divided by 3, which gives 2.0. It does give a float, or it does have a decimal point, but there are ways in order to convert these floats to integers. We will talk about that in a future episode, though. Then there's 3, and then there's this radical sign, and then there's a 2. What this will do is it gives you the remainder after dividing. So, for instance, 2 can only fit in 3 one time, and the number 1 is left behind. And so it gives you 1 because it does not, and it's just a remainder of the number 1 dividing. There is these 2 multiplication signs, which is the same as exponents, actually. So, for instance, if you wrote 2 and then the 2 multiplication signs and then 3, that is the same as 2 to the power of 3, and therefore it will give 8. And then there's floor division, which actually is basically like normal division, except that it doesn't give any decimal points right afterwards. Normally with 6 divided by 3, as I wrote up here, it did have a float and it did give 2.0, but with floor division, it only shows the number 1 when you divide it. That's the end with all the math operators and the types of numbers. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.